Welcome back to my channel. It's Pippa Watmore. Where do I start, guys? Obviously I have been MIA and I've not been around as much as I want to be, or to be honest, let me just be honest with you, I feel like I owe you guys an explanation to why I have not been filming as much, and it is because I had to decide. Like, when you go on YouTube, you know, it's easy for people who decide to go on YouTube and use it as a platform for like beauty tips and makeup and stuff like that. I think that's great. It's easier for them a bit to show themselves out like that, express themselves. I think the makeup is not doing anything like that. It can be very stressful because I had to decide for myself, what am I going to what am I going to make available to my viewers, what am I willing to make available to my viewers, and then in terms of my life, basically, in terms of this platform, what am I going to be my authentic self? Am I going to hide things? Am I going to slowly put myself into it? And you know what, I just decided that if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it with all my heart. And you know, like the Bible says, whatever you find yourself, do it wholeheartedly. So I want to do it with every bit of me. So I've decided to be the authentic self and just be me, be my honest truth, walk in my honest truth, tell my honest truth. And you know, the fear of what will people think of me, how will they perceive me, would they misunderstand me. I still feel like if I'm honest about my life, and if I tell my honest truth about my experiences, maybe somebody else is watching me will learn to accept themselves for who they are. And I wanted to talk about forgiveness. And I wanted to talk about forgiveness because recently I have been put in a situation, my nose is so itchy, I've been put into a situation where I have to, I find that I've been put in a situation where I have to forgive people. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, it's okay, I don't have any negative thoughts about them. I don't have any, you know, I don't have any like bad mindset towards them. I don't wish them bad. I'm just cool with everything, and it's like whatever happened, let's move on. But I don't want to be cool with you, but then I haven't registered in my mind as well that I want to forgive you. And I realized that even when I say I'm cool with everything, let's move on, I'm not able to be myself around that person. One, because I'm being very cautious of them because I know who they are now, and two, because I haven't forgiven them. And I feel like God has really like put my back to the wall, where he's like, how dare you not forgive? Like, I forgive you, and trust, he has forgiven a lot. So it's like, why don't we forgive? And it's so hard to forgive, guys. Like, I understand, I'm the first one to say the hardest thing is to forgive somebody you love that hurt you, because you don't expect them to hurt you. When you say you love someone, when you love someone as a friend, no matter what kind of relationship you're in, even between parents and stuff like that, you give them the power over you because you become vulnerable to them, and you become that person that is weak in a sense, because loving someone is trusting them to keep your heart safe. So if they don't keep you safe, your vulnerability, your heart, the way that you are safe, and the way that you love them safe, obviously that's what makes us hurt. That's what causes us to have that sense of unforgiveness, because you don't believe in your mind that this person could hurt you to that point. And unfortunately it can happen, and you know, it happens. And you know, like, there's a saying in my country, and I think it says it is in Tree, and I'll explain it. It says, and basically what it just says, if an animal will bite you, it's from within. And that is the absolute truth, because if you're gonna get hurt by someone, it's from within. It's from your circle. It's not gonna be from somewhere outside your circle, because you won't care. It won't hurt. So there'll be nothing to forgive. And you know, I find that a lot of times when we become hurt and we have all this pain in our hearts, we don't let go. And when we don't let go of that, we have unforgiveness. And sometimes for a lot of people, they say it's fine and we'll just pile it up and we'll close it up. And that's how I used to be. I used to be the person, I mean, you can ask my friend Jenna especially, she used to always advise me, girl, God bless you. She always used to say to me, Philippa, you have to learn to forgive. You have to learn to forgive. You can't hold on to what people have done to you, but then say it's okay and then allow them to keep doing the same thing to you. And it's like I was piling up all the hurt from these specific people who, just because I was playing dumb for them, were taking me literally like a fool. And at the end of the day, it wasn't hurting them, it was hurting me, because I was the person who was unwilling to forgive. It's not like I'm not capable, I was just unwilling to forgive. And my friend Jenna, she always used to tell me, Philippa, you have to learn to forgive. Forgiveness is what binds us with God. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. And then, I don't know, one day I read this scripture that I'm talking about and it just clicked. For me, if I'm able to pray for you, then I've forgiven you. Then it doesn't hurt that bad. But if I'm not able to pray for you, then I need to ask God to enable me to forgive you. Because I feel like if you can pray for someone, then you can be cordial with them. Because prayer is such a powerful thing. And to remember to pray for someone, that means that person's on your mind. That means you care. So for me, that's like one of my most important things. One more thing that I wanted to talk about, like, sometimes as well when we talk about forgiveness, we forget that it's so hard to forgive someone if the person has not asked for forgiveness. But we have to learn as an individual to forgive people for what they've done to hurt us, even before they ask forgiveness. Because some people are not gonna say I'm sorry. Some people are never gonna admit that they did you wrong. Some people are never gonna understand that they hurt you. Despite what they thought, how they felt, they still hurt you as a person. And we as human beings, we have to like just be okay with that. That sometimes you're going to get hurt and no one's going to say sorry. You're going to have to look at yourself and say, I'm sorry. And a lot of times, especially for girls, a lot of the unforgiveness that we hold is not for the other person, but it's for ourselves. And we have to learn to forgive ourselves. And like, I think I had forgiven people for hurting me, but I had not forgiven myself for allowing these people to constantly hurt me. And I remember last year I went to Soap Survivors, which is like a youth camp retreat for 4 days, 5 days I think it is, and it's just between you and God. It's you getting to know God basically. And I realized that there was so much, the reason why I held back from giving my all in church was because there were people I trusted to protect me in church. There were people that I looked up to in church who then showed me their bad side, who then rejected me, who then bad-mouthed me, who then basically made me feel like an outcast, who made me feel like I couldn't be safe in church. But church is the place where anybody can feel safe. And because of that, I was just so like disappointed. And even though I was doing things in church, I wasn't doing it with all my heart. And I didn't have that love that I first had to do things in church. Like, I would always put other things before it because I felt like they don't love me like that. Why should I love them like that? And I realized, you know what, it's not about them, it's about God. And I had to learn to forgive myself. I remember that night at Soul Survivors, I was like, it all hit me because I was asking God like, why? And I was asking God so much different questions. And then when he just sort of like let it go, you said you forgave them, but you never forgave yourself. And then it broke me down into tears because, oh my God, all this while I've been feeling this pain in my heart, and I've been thinking it's because they hurt me, but then subconsciously I have forgiven them, but I've not forgiven myself for allowing them to hurt me, for being so naive, for looking up to these people and accepting that I am a person. I was young, I will make mistakes, and even as I grow, I will make mistakes. And sometimes we as people cannot forgive our own mistakes, our decisions that led to that mistake. And there's certain decisions that probably I wish I never made when if I had a better influence over my life. And that's just what it is. At this point, it's my past. It's a good experience. It allows me to be more transparent to other youths, and I can be honest about who I am and what I am and how I am, and they can decide to accept that or not accept it, and it'll be fine. But just to think that the amount of pain I had in my heart, especially the amount of grudges I was holding towards just church, and when I say church, it's not the building, the people in the church, because that's people what makes the church, you know, and how much they hurt me and how much they embarrassed me, and the dumb shit they said I did that I never did, the allegations, the stupid shit that basically stops other youths from going to church. And you know what's so funny is I meet people all the time and I ask them, do you go to church? And in a conversation they will express to me that they don't go to church anymore because of what somebody else did to them, because they expected more from this person. This person was supposed to be their role model, but this person brought them down. And a lot of times, guys, we do meet these people in our churches, in our communities, in our everyday lives, and you expect them to build you up, but don't build us up. They actually kick us down, and when we're down they kick us even more. And unfortunately that is just how it is. And we have to learn to forgive those people when they come in our lives, because they come to teach us only a lesson. And once you have been taught that lesson, you're never going to make that mistake for someone else to violate you like that, for someone else to take advantage of you like that, and for you to be naive in the sense of thinking that they love you the way that you love them. And for me, that is what I experienced. Like with church, I was like, what? How can they say I did that? How can... I had one time where I'm like super close with a lot of the kids there, and one parent basically told her kids to stop hanging around with me because I was a bad influence based on something else that somebody else had said. And trust me, today this parent loves me being around their children, because they realized actually you weren't a bad influence. I took the word of somebody else and I pictured you in the wrong manner, and that is life. And to be honest, I never had to forgive that person because I never felt it was their fault. I feel like if I had presented myself in a different manner, if I found myself in different situations, people would not have the right to say those kind of things about me. However, I just wanted to put out there that forgiveness is the hardest thing to do. But we always have to remember that when you forgive someone, you don't forgive them for them, you forgive them for you. Because for as long as you hold that pain, for as long as you hold that grudge, you don't only stop your chances of maybe entering heaven, you also stop your chances of living a normal life, because you're constantly always being monitored by this person. Whatever words they spoke into your life or whatever they did that made you feel that absence of hurt and pain is constantly reminded. And when you meet other people and maybe they show the same signs, you block yourself. You are stopping yourself from so much blessings, so much doors from opening up to you. And at the end of the day, the moment that you can say, I forgive you for what you have done to me and how you made me feel as a person, you let go of such a weight. And you, like I keep saying to people, you have to remember, you do not forgive people for them, you forgive them for you. Because if you give that person the power over you to control your mindset, to control how you feel, when you don't forgive someone and you constantly see them, every time you see them, that rush of pain, that rush of anger that they made you feel at the first place is exactly what you feel. And to me, I feel that is like, it's a nuisance. Why bother yourself with that emotion when you could just say, you know what, God, I let it go. Or even if you can't let it go right now, just ask, just say, you know, if you don't believe in God or whatever, just say, you know what, I just want to be able to let go. And I just want to be able to look at this person and not feel the way they make me feel. I want to be able to think about this person so they don't, in a way where they don't have that same power over my life. That power that makes me destructive, that power that makes me upset, makes me angry, makes me depressed, gives me anxiety. And the moment you can do that, that is it. That is all that matters. And sometimes it's so hard to say I forgive you, but just asking God for the mercy and the grace to help you forgive somebody else is what can make a huge difference. And for me, like I said, forgiveness was such a hard part for my life. But now I can forgive people like this. You don't need to ask for forgiveness, because I feel like, why am I going to allow you to torment my life? The faster I forgive you, the faster I can move on with my life. And if I decide that I don't want to be around you, I have the right to, because they said forgive but don't forget. Girl, don't be stupid now and forgive and forget and allow that person to keep doing the same shit to you. No, you forgive. And depending on whatever they did to hurt you, you need to decide whether you still want this person in your life. And then, guys, always remember to forgive yourself. No matter how much you feel like you let yourself down, a lot of times we get angry at ourselves for allowing our siblings or our younger selves to get hurt. And we have to learn to just say, I forgive myself for allowing this to happen to me. And it's the hardest thing, but the moment you do it, you will be happy, you will be excited, you will just be free. You will feel a weight lifted off you, and that's all that matters, guys. And I really want this video to be really short because I want to get the point over. Learn to forgive, learn to understand other people. And you know, the best part is not to think, why did you do that to me? But ask for God to give you an understanding of what their actions meant. And then sometimes you can mend the relationship and sometimes you can't, and it's okay sometimes.